Hi friends. In 2021, I released Woke the Movie, which is my attempt to link numerous internet conspiracy theories into a shared universe, kinda like the MCU. One of the themes that I touched on is how the world's elite, for centuries, accumulated and spread secret occult knowledge within their inner circles. Knowledge that is definitely not for average Joes like you and me. This is the knowledge that ruling circles have kept to themselves, and that they view as the key to their power. The purpose of this guarded knowledge was to evolve the consciousness into a higher state of existence. They studied this information, wrapped them in rituals, and protected it with often gruesome blood-spilling oaths. And many secret organizations emerged out of the need to protect this occulted knowledge. But to this day, the most powerful secret society is the Knights Templar. As they returned from their crusade in the Holy Land between the 11 and 1300s, it's alleged that the Templars brought back a number of mystical, religious, and spiritual beliefs. They were often accused of worshipping such anti-Christian symbols such as snakes, owls, the hermaphrodite deity Baphomet, and the human sacrifice-demanding Baal. Their detractors claim that the Templars were heavily into ritualistic sex magic as a gateway into the spiritual world. And these alternative beliefs seem to serve the Templars well. Even today, their unmistakable symbol, a red cross on a white background, can be seen all over the levers of power. The Templars became so powerful in fact that they eventually had to create spin-off orders like the Knights of Malta, a secret society so powerful that it's often considered diplomatically sovereign and maintains separate diplomatic relations with over 100 countries. Another organization created out of the Templars are the Freemasons, whose prominent members are way too many to even count.
I hold that to be self-evident, Brother Franklin. All men are created equal.
Indeed, Brother Washington. All Freemasons meet as equals, and we have an opportunity to create a nation in the very essence of Masonic morality.
And high-ranking Masonic leaders in the US knew perfectly well that their occulted knowledge had been passed on from a previous lost age. One Confederate general whose statue was toppled in 2020 was Albert Pike. 33rd degree Freemason and ritual designer of the Ku Klux Klan, Pike's legacy was firmly placed among the memorials of DC. And he wrote about how Freemasonry was in fact a custodian of pre-flood knowledge in his book, Morals and Dogma. And I quote, "That of bronze which survived the flood represents the mysteries of which Masonry is the legitimate successor, handed down from age to age by an unbroken current of tradition, embodied in symbols, emblems, and allegories."
You know, I wonder if other presidents after me will also be Freemasons.
Many are initiated into these mysteries by bloodline. However, to recruit enough lackeys to keep this power structure in place, the bloodline elite often find it necessary to bring in and indoctrinate talented individuals among the privileged class into at least some aspects of this knowledge. And what better place to do this than the seemingly tranquil and esteemed institutions of academia, where a very old and entrenched network of secret societies work to serve the long-term goals of this elite. Swearing allegiance to these secret societies puts its young members on the fast track to success in leadership positions for life, and despite a public front of philanthropy and goodwill, they are steeped in occult mysticism.
Skull and Bones. Accept or reject.
Of course, the most well-known is Yale's Skull and Bones. Its membership includes George W., his dad George Bush Sr., and his daddy Prescott, also John Kerry, conservative commentator William F. Buckley, a high number of Yale presidents, several high-ranking members of the CIA, and even actor Paul Giamatti. But this is just a small sample of their successful former members. And if you are a member, you're strictly forbidden from discussing your membership with anyone outside the organization.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America?
Both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
And perhaps for good reason. If the public knew the details of their rituals, they'd be appalled.
What you're hearing is the first recording ever made of the Skull and Bones initiation ceremony.
And what did you hear? What was it you know? You managed to get this unique
it was
access to it.
disgusting. It was gross. I mean, they were pretending to murder people. And
What was the tone of it, though? Was it jokey or was it
vicious.
quite...
No, it wasn't jokey at all. It was sick. It's about the only way I can describe it. It was sick.
Skull and Bones is the most well-known secret society, but they're just the tip of the iceberg. There are over 40 secret societies just in Yale alone, and hundreds more nationwide. Many looking like they belong in Harry Potter. and often steeped in dark and satanic symbolism. But with successful alumni able to donate millions of dollars to these schools, it's most likely that these secret societies enjoy undue influence on the choice of university presidents, board members, and student government positions. What these fraternal secret societies have in common with their big boy counterparts is an incessant importance placed on ritual. And it is the masters of these rituals who are some of the most revered figures among the intellectual and political elite. And the most notorious black magician in recent history is the early 20th century occult practitioner, Aleister Crowley, or as some like to call him, the Beast. This high-level Freemason is most famous for creating the religion of Thelema, a key component of which was the practice of ritual sex magic. Sex magic is the belief that during a sexual union, the moment of orgasm literally opens doorways into another dimension, where the barriers between the physical world and the astral dissolve. And it was Crowley's pioneering of such rituals that would land him friends and admirers in high places. People like Aldous Huxley, Timothy Leary, James Bond creator Ian Fleming, author Roald Dahl, and even Winston Churchill. He's even credited for creating the V for Victory sign to act as a magical foil for the Nazi swastika.
Repeat after me.
What's even more bizarre are the rumors that Crowley was indeed the biological father of former First Lady Barbara Bush. Although this is often scoffed at by the mainstream, a British documentary on Crowley entitled In Search of the Great Beast 666 points out how the historical details do line up to make this a possibility. Could the most wickedest man in the world be George W. Bush's grandfather? And would that even be surprising? Barbara herself was no stranger to the macabre, and she even kept a miscarried fetus in a jar for decades and showed it off to family members.
And my mom's what I learned was she's a straightforward person. She says to her teenage kid, here's a fetus.
Crowley would go on to inspire many prominent names of the 20th century. Pop culture icons like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and Michael Jackson were heavily inspired by Crowley's work. Devoted follower of Crowley and science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard would go on to parlay many of Crowley's teachings into the foundations of his Church of Scientology.
He was deeply involved with a British black magician called Aleister Crowley. Really the basis of Scientology, which is rather hidden and covered over, is the occult, the deep involvement with satanic powers, and through putting himself in deep hypnotic trances and the use of drugs on himself, he wanted to become the most powerful being in the world.
During his lifetime, Crowley's zest for ceremony, symbolism, and ritual were mainly known by a relatively small circle of like-minded practitioners. However, the culted powers of today, those who occupy high positions in politics, finance, and entertainment, have become ever more bold in touting these very ancient secrets in plain sight, even incorporating them in many areas of everyday life, oftentimes with the casual observer never catching on. Now, this isn't just fun and games for the privileged few for whom these cryptic messages are meant to be understood by. It's way more than that. The fervor in which many follow these rules and secret doctrines can be described quite accurately as religious fundamentalism. However, what I'm talking about is not a religion whose goal is to elevate man to become more enlightened and obtain spiritual harmony. The point of this religion is something else entirely. Sounds pretty crazy, huh? Well, I bet you have no idea how deep this goes. Please subscribe if you wish to continue this journey, or better yet, watch Woke the Movie, out now. Thanks for watching.